Okay, this is the task slash pathing guide. Before we get into it, I'm just gonna establish the goal of optimal pathing. So the goal of optimal pathing is to, first and foremost, not die in bad locations. So for example, you don't want to die third water wheel, top decom, specie hallway, like death node, like these kinds of places, for example, right? Uh, this is obvious, right? Because you don't want to get triple killed and you want your body to be reported if you died, right? You want to be cleared and have clears. So you want to be stacking with players. You want to be inside of a room off CD. Um, yeah, you want to be cleared and you want to have clears, right? This is also obvious, right? And lastly, you want to do tasks in an efficient manner and you want to do them outside in, right? So, for example, if you have wires, elec wires, you want to do that before you do something like weapons asteroids, because if you get to the late game, like rounds like 7 with 2 amps, it'll be more tricky to do your wires, because you could like, it could go elec O2 top decom, as opposed to just doing weapons asteroids, right? So you want to do the tricky task first. So this would include like elec wires, O2 download, like canisters, water wheels, specie download, that kind of stuff, right? You want to do those things in the earlier rounds as opposed to the later rounds, right? So yeah, I'm just gonna go over every room and give my thoughts on it. So with storage, storage is kind of a shit task. If you have a cams player, you could do it while cams are on, obviously. Um, you could do it. You could do one part of storage at the start of every single round. So this is like after a button has been called or after a body's reported. You have 22 seconds of grace period. So what that means is you have time to run out of office, go up to storage, do first part of storage, and then leave, right? But if you do two parts of storage, then you'll be like in storage while CD is up. So that's not a good idea. Um, Generally, I would just leave storage for like when someone's on cams or either to the end of the round, like when you're pre-planning, right? Um, so that's storage. Specimen. So specimen, right? You don't want to die in specimen like ever, pretty much, right? Um, you want multiple people to see you going into spec, or you want to be on admin and see like two people in spec before you go in, right? Like you want to make sure you don't die in spec hallway because you're guaranteed to get triple killed if you die in spec hallway, right? Like you want to confirm crewmates seeing you going in, or you want there to be like two people in spec and one people on admin, so you guarantee don't die in spec hallway, right? Because it's just bad gameplay to die in spec hallway. If you're on admin, you should keep track of who's running into spec, so they don't die in spec hallway, obviously. You can leave spec till the end of the pre-plan because usually people late game will have specimen tasks and lab tasks. So you'll go like spec to lab, for example. But if you have long tasks like reactor or specie download, you do want to do them early in the game, especially specie download because you have to go back to communications to do it, right? Um, and yeah, if you're an admin and you see people going spec, you shouldn't leave admin office if no one else is like in admin or office, right? Like you should be keeping an eye on who goes into spec so you could see their body down battles and solve the kill, right? So that's specimen. Okay, electrical. Let's do electrical. So we've done storage, specimen, let's do electrical. So going electrical off CD and doing the task straight away, so wires or elec download, it's viable, right? You can do this, okay? Um, if you have elec wires, you want to do them before lab, as wires tend to end in lab, right? So if you have laboratory tasks and you have elec wires, like let's say drill, uh, telescope, med scan, that kind of stuff, you want to do elec wires as The elec wirepathing is elec O2 office and then lab. So it's likely that you're going to end in lab. Going round one office and then going round to elec cams is viable, right? If you have elec wires. Okay. So let's talk about O2 now. So running straight to O2 without stacking is not ideal. If there is a CD kill, like around left side, so around communications or death node, you're not likely to be clear. So if you're going dropship and you run through elec and go straight to O2, this isn't good gameplay. You should usually stack with someone around storage node or elec before you go to O2, right? So you don't want to run straight to O2 because you're not going to be clear for kill left side, right? You want to get your O2 tasks early. Sorry, you want to get your O2 tasks done early in the round because you want to do your tasks outside inwards. So what this means is like if you have canisters or O2 download or speci download, you want to do it outside inwards because you want to leave the inwards task, which is comms, weapons, for the later rounds, right? Like rounds like 7 with 2 amps. If you're going to O2 with on 7 with 2 amps, O2 download, canisters, and boiler, they can be lethal because if you die outside O2, like below here, or in O2 hallway, that can be very bad and you're very much likely to be triple killed. So just keep that in mind when you have O2 tasks, right? Usually you can get away with tree, wires, and trash on 7. You could just run there and then make it to admin of CD. But if you have a longer task, you just want to keep that in mind, right? Comms. So running straight to comms reboot off dropship, it's not good gameplay because you're not going to be cleared for CD kills. So kills like outside elec or death mode, you're never going to be cleared for that, right? So it's just not good gameplay. And you really don't need to do your reboot at this stage in the game, right? You can wait for it. So yeah, so you usually you want to leave comms for after elec and O2. That's just good gameplay. Um, and weapons is pretty much the same as comms. So yeah. And oh yeah, so if you were to like, let's say there's a button and it's 22.5 CD, so if you were to go to comms, do upload, you're not going to make it to office back before CD. So it's like, let's say you go do it upload, you'll be like around here or outside left side office as CD comes up, and you're not going to have info and you're not going to be cleared. So it's, you really don't want to do comms at the start of the round. Same with weapons. It's pretty similar to comms, right? Okay, so comms weapons are to elec, storage space. Okay, so lab. Doing lab round 1 is pretty pointless. Leaving lab till the end is ideal because you have like tasks like inspect samples, you have wires, you have med scan, and you have second part of node, right? So your tasks are going to end in lab most likely. Same with if you make it to the late game, like pre-planning is usually going to end in lab. So there's really no need to do lab early. Drill's also a pretty bad place to die. Like they kill comms and kill you on drill, so like you kind of don't want to do drill while they have CD up. But it doesn't really matter to be honest. But that's just like a minor thing. Um, Lab vent, med scan, and top decom are also not ideal places to die. So you just want to keep that in mind when doing the tasks, right? Like you want to look who's around you so you don't die in those places, right? Dropship tasks. So if you're playing info of CD, I would recommend just straight up skipping dropship tasks. But if you are doing dropship tasks at the start, you want to like remember who you leave in dropship. You want to leave like 2 or 3 people in dropship. You don't want to be the last person there because you could like very well die below dropship, right? Um, so yeah, that's pretty much it. Office tasks and lava, so like office download, card swipe, boarding pass, and lava. You really don't need to do these tasks until the late game, especially water jug. Like you could literally leave water jug to the end, and you'll always be able to do it, even as a ghost. So there's really no need to do these tasks early into the game. You want to do tasks outside inwards, right? So you want to do elec O2, speci download before you do O2 office tasks, right? So that's office and lava. And last but not least, off-map tasks, right? So death node, water wheels, O2 nodes, storage node, no below lab, no outside lab, these kind of tasks, right? There's really no need to do them while CD is up. I would just run straight past them at the start of the game. Like I wouldn't even do storage node because in round 2 you're gonna get a 22.5 CD, and you can literally just do the tasks before CD is up, and then be in a room as CD is up, or be on admin office as CD is up. So doing the tasks, like you're not gonna get cleared, you might get killed. It's like a really bad place to die, especially like third water world death node, that kind of stuff. It's just not really worth doing. You don't even need to risk it, right? Like you just wait till the button happens and then you go do it, and then you end in a room, right? So that's the gist of the task. If you refer back to the start of the video, uh, yeah, so that's basically it. Okay, so yeah, AEPL on top.